Hello students, in our last video we discussed about oogenesis process. Here oogenesis means production of female gamete or ovum from the primordial germ cell is nothing but oogenesis. In this case, as a process of this oogenesis, we got female gamete, that is nothing but ovum or female egg cell. Here, what is the structure of the female egg? That one we will discuss today. Here, when you observe the female gamete, it is round in shape. Female gamete is round in shape, and generally these female egg cell size is 0.1 mm size. What is the size of the female egg cell? That is 0.1 mm in size. Inside of the female egg cell, there is cytoplasm will present. You can see cytoplasm at the inner side, which is also called exoplasm. Exoplasm. So cytoplasm present in the female egg cell is also called exoplasm. And generally, these exoplasms surrounded by one membrane. Here, all the cytoplasm surrounded by one membrane. That membrane is also called plasma membrane or white line membrane. Plasma membrane or white line membrane. That means you already know that every cell surrounds with one plasma membrane. That plasma membrane, here it is also called as white line membrane. Inside of that there is nucleus. Inside of the nucleus, nucleolus will present. Nucleus and nucleolus are present. Here, nucleus is also called germinal vesicle. Germinal vesicle. Nucleolus is also called germinal spot. Germinal spot. And then, when you observe this female egg cell, it is surrounded by one layer around side of or outside of the plasma membrane, which is made by glycoproteins. Glycoprotein made one layer is present at the outside of the plasma membrane. That layer is also called zona pellucida. Zona pellucida. Zona pellucida formed by glycoproteins, and it also consists different type of receptors which will be helpful for sperm attachment or sperm cell attachment. Outside of the female egg cell, there is another layer is present which is made by cells which are formed from cumulus oophoricus, Likewise, outside of the zona pellucida, there are number of cells present which are formed as one layer. That cells are also called corona radiata. Corona radiata. So cells present outside of the zona pellucida, which are elongated in nature, which are radiating towards outside, that cells are called as corona radiata. These corona radiata formed from cells which are formed during the Graafian follicle condition, that are cumulus euphoricus, corona radiata cells are formed from cumulus euphoricus. Cumulus euphoricus are formed from granulosa cells. Granulosa cells are formed from stroma cells. Stroma cells are formed from ovary. That means corona radiata is formed from ovary. Ovary produces stroma cells. That stroma cells forms as granulosa cells. That granulosa cells forms as cumulus euphoricus. That means when you observe the tertiary follicle, that fluid filled cavity anthem will be formed. As a result, what will happen? Total granulosa cells present around side of the female egg will be divided into two layers. Outside, some amount of granulosa cells, and these egg cell surrounds by some amount of granulosa cells. In that, elongated cells which are radiating towards outside, elongated cells which are closely maintains contact with the zona pellucida, that cells are also called corona radiata. Anyway, corona radiata is formed from ovary. And here, zona pellucida. When you observe the zona pellucida, in some cases, it is formed by both egg cell as well as this corona radiata. Egg cell as well as corona radiata forms the zona pellucida. And in some organisms, only egg cell helpful to produce zona pellucida. In some organisms, only corona radiata helpful to form this zona pellucida. But most of the cases, to form the zona pellucida, these egg cell as well as corona radiata will be helpful to form the zona pellucida. That is the main feature you have to observe. Because zona pellucida will be formed, or in the formation of zona pellucida formation, this egg cell also involved. That's why zona pellucida and white line membrane both are called as primary membranes. And here corona radiata formed from ovary, that's why it is also called secondary membrane. Likewise, different layers are present around side of this egg cell. So now just try to observe that membranes. In this case, two type of membranes are present. White line membrane and zona pellucida are called as primary membranes. Corona radiata is also called secondary membrane. That means, what is the classification of membranes present around side of the egg? That one, when we observe it, membranes classified into three types. So membranes present at outside of the female egg can be classified into three types. In that, first one, primary membranes. Here, primary membranes means membranes which are formed by the help of female egg. or egg cell. So if the egg cell is involved in the formation of membranes, that membranes are called primary membranes. Here, example, white line membrane and zona pellucida. So these two are examples for primary membranes. Second one, secondary membranes. Secondary membranes means membranes which are formed from the ovary. That kind of membranes are also called secondary membranes. And here example for secondary membrane is corona radiata, and after the fertilization during the formation of placenta, chorion, another layer will be formed around side of the baby. That one also example for this secondary membranes. So membranes present at outside of the female egg that are classified into first one primary membranes, second one secondary membranes, and third one tertiary membranes. Tertiary membranes. Of course, these tertiary membranes are absent in the case of human beings. But tertiary membranes are present in the case of reptiles and birds. That means tertiary membranes means membranes which are formed from oviduct and uterus. Membranes which are formed from oviducts and uterus, that membranes are also called tertiary membranes. Example for the tertiary membranes is eggshell. So these eggshell actually formed from the oviducts. That means when the ovum is traveling through the oviduct, when it is reaching to uterus, during that situation, that egg cell will be surrounded by one hard shell-like structure, which is also called, that means eggshell. And these eggshell is actually formed from the oviducts and uterus. That's why these eggshell is also called tertiary membranes. So membranes present around side of the egg cell, that means overall, when we observe the membranes present around side of the egg cell in a generalized view, all the membranes can be classified into three types: primary membranes, secondary membranes, and tertiary membranes. Primary membranes, that means membranes which needs the support of female egg cell, that membranes are also called primary membranes. Example, white line membrane or plasma membrane, and then zona pellucida. Next, in the case of secondary membranes means membranes which are formed around side of the egg cell, which are formed by the help of ovary. That membranes are also called secondary membranes. Example, corona radiata and chorion. Next, third one, tertiary membranes. Tertiary membranes means membranes which are formed by the help of oviduct and uterus. That membranes are also called tertiary membranes. Example, eggshell. Likewise, different type of membranes are present around side of the egg cell. In this case, inside exoplasm is present. That exoplasm later helpful to form yolk material. That yolk material, based on the amount of yolk material, how much, that means inside of the egg cell, how much amount of yolk material is present, based on that, these egg cell can be classified into four types. based on the amount of yolk material, they are classified into four types. Eggs are classified into four types based on the amount of yolk. Here, elastic egg elastic. Next, microelastic. Mesoelastic. And macroelastic. Here, based on the amount of yolk material, egg cell can be divided into four types: elastic or microelastic or mesoelastic or macroelastic. That means in different organisms, they produce egg cell, and when we observe that egg cells, based on the yolk material, they will be classified into four types: elastic, microelastic, mesoelastic, and macroelastic. Here, elastic means yolk material is absent, or if present, very less amount of, negligible amount of yolk material is present in the case of elastic. Yolk material is almost absent, or if present, negligible amount of yolk material is present in the case of elastic. And here, example for that, human beings. Human beings consist very less amount of yolk material. That's what is also called elastic. And here, microelastic. Here, yolk material is present. Here, there is a possibility that yolk material may absent. If present, very less amount of yolk material is present. And here, yolk material is present. If present, very less amount of yolk material is present. That's why these kind of eggs are also called microelastic. That means yolk material is present with very less amount of yolk material. That's why it is also called microelastic. And here example for that is Amphioxus. Amphioxus. Here, when we observe that there is a small variation, that means yolk material may absent. If present, very less amount of yolk material is present. Yolk material is present, and that too, if present, their amount is very less. That are microelastic. And remember that sometimes these elastic and microelastic are generally exhibited as a name of microelastic because they are closely related. And then coming to third type of eggs, that are mesoelastic. Mesoelastic eggs means yolk material is present. That yolk material is in medium size. That means considerable amount of yolk material is present in the case of mesoelastic. That mesoelastic example, amphibians. Coming to macroelastic. Macroelastic means yolk material is present in the egg cell with large quantities. That eggs are also called macroelastic. And example, birds. Birds. So likewise, based on the amount of yolk material, eggs are divided into four types: elastic, microelastic, mesoelastic, and macroelastic egg. Here, elastic egg means yolk material generally absent. If present, very less amount of yolk material is present here. That eggs are also called elastic. Example for that is human beings. Coming to microlethal egg. Microlethal egg means yolk material is present, that yolk quantity is very less. That kind of eggs are also called microlethal eggs. Example, Amphiaxis. Coming to mesolethal egg. Mesolethal egg means yolk material is present, that is considerable amount of yolk material, that means medium size yolk material is present in the case of mesolethal eggs. Example, that is amphibians. Coming to last one, that is macrolethal egg. Macrolethal egg means egg consists large amount of yolk material. Large amount of yolk material is present in the case of macrolethal egg. Example for that is birds. Like us, based on the amount of yolk material, they divided into 4 types. How the yolk material distributed throughout the egg cell? Throughout the egg cell, how the yolk material is present? That means whether it is present at one side, it is distributed all over the egg cell, or it is present at the central side. Based on that, these egg cells divided into 3 types. Based on the distribution of yolk, egg cell divided into 3 types. One is isolethal egg. Second one, telolethal egg. Third one, centrolethal egg. What is happening here? Based on the yolk material is present, where that is present, central side or at one side, or it is distributed all over the cell in a even manner. Based on that distribution of yolk material, egg cell can be divided into 3 types: isolethal egg, telolethal egg, centrolethal egg. In this case, isolethal egg, in this case yolk material is present all over the egg cell. Yolk material is present all over the egg cell. That kind of yolk material distribution is present. That kind of egg cell is also called isolethal egg. Example, human beings. Isolethal egg. Example, human beings. Then coming to telolethal eggs. In this case, telolethal eggs means yolk material is present at one side. It is not distributed all over the egg cell evenly, but all the yolk material is present at one side. That kind of eggs are also called telolethal eggs. Example, amphibians. Example is amphibians. Coming to centrolethal eggs. Centrolethal eggs means total amount of yolk material is present at the central side. Central side of the egg, yolk material is present. That kind of eggs are also called centrolethal eggs. Example, insects. Example is insects. Likewise, based on the amount of yolk, based on the distribution of yolk, these eggs are divided into different types. And here another one, that is, if the shell is present on the outside. If the shell is present on the outside or not. We already know that in the case of birds, outside of the egg there is a shell is present. That shell containing egg cell is also called cleidoic egg. Based on shell. Eggs can be divided into two types. One is cleidoic egg and second one non-cleidoic egg. Non-cleidoic egg. That means if the shell is present on the outside of the egg, here we are not discussing about any kind of shell. That means human beings doesn't consist any shell. That's why human beings egg cell is non-cleidoic egg. Here shell is absent. If the egg doesn't consist any shell, that kind of egg is also called non-cleidoic egg. But in the case of birds, outside they consist one shell. That's why those eggs are also called cleidoic eggs. That means based on the shell present outside of the egg cell, they are divided into two types. One is cleidoic egg and second one non-cleidoic egg. Likewise, eggs are classified into different types. That means based on the amount of yolk material, how the yolk material is distributed in the egg cell, and whether shell is present on the outside of the egg or not. These eggs present in different organisms classified into different types. In this case, human being is producing one egg cell. This egg consists very less amount of yolk material. That's why it is said to be elesthal egg. And that yolk material is present throughout the egg cell. That's why it is said to be isolesthal egg. And outside there is no shell. That's why human beings egg cell is considered as non-cleidoic egg. Okay, when we observe that egg cell, different type of classifications are present. In this case, sometimes we also use two more words. One is animal pole and second one vegetal pole. In the case of female egg cell, we will use two type of words. One is animal pole second one vegetal pole. Animal pole and vegetal pole. Here, what is the meaning of animal pole? What is the meaning of vegetal pole? Animal pole means in entire female egg, where the nucleus is present either any one side of this egg cell. That means if the nucleus is present at this pole side, that pole is also called animal pole. Nucleus is not present here at the middle side. It is present very close to one side. That side is also called animal pole. Or the part which consists nucleus. That is also called animal pole. And the part which doesn't consist nucleus, that is also called vegetal pole. Likewise, based on the nucleus where it is present, this total egg cell can be divided into two types. One is animal pole and second one vegetal pole. This egg cell is actually forming in Graafian follicle. We already discussed that follicular development. In the Graafian follicle, this type of egg cell is formed. Of course, complete formed egg cell is actually takes place after the copulation. That means we already discussed that oogenesis, complete ovum will be formed by the making contact with the sperm cell. Okay, when the egg cell completely formed, it exhibits these kind of shape. And then when it is traveling from the Graafian follicle or ovary into this fallopian tube and uterus. When it is traveling from the ovary to fallopian tube and then into uterus, during that situation, first these egg will be released into body cavity again. Inside body there is empty cavity. Into that empty cavity, these egg cell will be released. Egg cell is not directly enter from ovary into fallopian tubes. First it releases into body cavity. From that, these fallopian tube, that means inner side declines a ciliated epithelium. That ciliated epithelium will maintain contractions and relaxations. As a result, egg cell will be sucked out into fallopian tube. But first, from the ovary, it is releasing into body cavity. That's why if the egg cells are releasing into body cavity, then from there it enters into oviducts or fallopian tubes. That kind of eggs are also called coelomic eggs. Coelomic eggs. Coelom means body cavity. So if eggs are released into body cavity, then from there it enters into fallopian tube or oviduct. Then such kind of eggs are also called coelomic eggs. That means if we want to discuss about female egg cell, it is coelomic egg. It is elasthic egg. It is isolisthic egg. It is non-cleidoic egg. These are the characteristic features of this human being's egg cell. And in our next video, we will discuss about menstrual cycle.